The Hail Mary on a stimulus package and what Congress is going to do this year in 2022. Let's jump right into it. But quickly before we do, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video so I can keep you updated during this very busy time as information continues to change very, very rapidly. I'm watching everything. I break it all down in these short videos so that you can get the latest details hot off the wire each and every day as this information is being released. Thanks again, I truly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's jump right into the video. Alright, so I think a lot of us are scratching our heads these days wondering, what is Congress doing? I mean, seriously, what are they really doing? I think a lot of us are wondering, will there be another stimulus package right here in 2022? If so, how soon will it be coming out? What is it going to include? And ultimately, the main question is, what is going to be in it for us? All of these are questions that are still up in the air right now, but let me lay out for you what I believe will possibly be happening this year in 2022 as it pertains to another stimulus package. So let me lay this all out for you. First off, I think all of us can probably agree we are living through a very, very interesting and unique time right now. Not necessarily in a good way, but there is a lot going on. Not only here in the United States, but also globally, there is a lot going on right now. Congress has a lot on their plate, the administration has a lot on their plate, and we do also understand that here in just a matter of a few months, we also do have the midterm elections coming up. A lot going on. Therefore, Congress has their eyes peeled on essentially everything right now, and they need to watch everything going forward. So, with that being said, let's discuss what could possibly be happening this year. Now, at the very beginning of the video, I kind of gave you a little glimpse into what I'm actually believing here and what I could foresee happening this year in 2022 as a result of Congress, potential stimulus package, and what is going forward. The key words to announce what I'm actually thinking here is Hail Mary stimulus package. Yeah, exactly, right? Let's talk through this a little bit further and discuss what I actually mean by this. Now, here's the deal. Congress fully understands, and when I say Congress, I'm mostly referring to Democrats. Is this because I'm taking sides? No, it simply means because Democrats are in full control right now of the Senate, the House of Representatives, and of course, the presidency. Therefore, they have full control of everything. They have full control and the ability to use reconciliation, the ability to get just a majority vote in the Senate. Therefore, 50 votes in the Senate plus the one from the Vice President to break the tie, and therefore they could pass essentially any kind of legislation that they want, just like they did in early 2021 with the American Rescue Plan. That was the one, that was the $1.9 trillion package that contained those $1,400 stimulus checks. They could do it all over again if they wanted to. They have that ability. But if they lose the House, if they lose the Senate, or they lose both, they lose the ability to use reconciliation as well. As they are in full control right now, which this has not happened in many, many years, as they have this full control right now, they can do this if they just so choose to do so. So here's kind of what we're foreseeing going forward. And by the way, this is not only me seeing this. I've been seeing some reports coming out about this as well. Other people that are watching the political environment right now, they're watching Congress, they're watching the timeline tick down day by day by day. This thing is ticking down, and we're watching this very closely. So it's not just me saying this. This is many other people saying this as well. So I want to lay this out for you and let you know what we're actually anticipating. Here's the deal. Congress, as in, again, Democrats mostly because they are in control. And again, I don't take sides in my videos. I'm simply telling you the reality of the matter of what is actually going on. So here's the deal. As we continue to approach the midterm elections getting closer day by day by day, Democrats are eyeing this very closely, and they fully understand with the current landscape right now and everything going on, there's a pretty high likelihood that they may be losing a large percentage of seats going forward into the midterm elections. They may even be flipping the Senate and or the House, or possibly even both of these chambers as a result of the midterm elections. They don't want that. They want to maintain full control. Who wouldn't, right? I think everybody understands they probably want to maintain full control. So here's what's happening going forward. Congress is going to be looking for any avenue in which they can pass one final Hail Mary stimulus package. It's going to be a reconciliation bill, and within it is going to be all kinds of different provisions. Again, a lot of that is still to be determined. A lot of that is still to be announced and figured out. But here's what we're actually anticipating out of Congress at some point here over the coming weeks or months. Again, I'm going to be very clear with you. I don't know when this could happen. Even the analysts and experts that I've been reading about and looking into as far as all this goes, they don't even have a good timeline as far as when this could possibly happen. But here's what they're anticipating. We're looking at the current landscape right now. We're looking at everything going forward and the ability of Congress to use reconciliation this year again before the midterm election. Now, here's the thing. We anticipate them to do this. Put together a massive bill. Why? Because they can. Why wouldn't they? Just like I've been saying, a Hail Mary package. Put it all together, let's jam it on through and get their pieces of legislation through before they potentially lose any seats or possibly lose any chambers, as in the Senate and or the House of Representatives. So this is what analysts and everybody is expecting right now, is that Congress will put together one last massive package. It could be $1 trillion, it could be $2 trillion, but here's the deal. We also understand the bigger that this package goes, and the bigger this package gets, the less likely it's going to get support from people like Joe Manchin and possibly even Kyrsten Sinema. So what they really need to do here is they need to thread the needle when it comes to this stimulus package. Make it as big as they possibly can, but at the same time, make it just small enough so that Joe Manchin and people like Kyrsten Sinema still agree to come forward and support this bill and pass it through with the reconciliation process, which allows them to get that through with just the simple majority vote of 50 in the Senate plus the one from the vice president. So it's going to be a very interesting balancing act that they do right here. So essentially, it's going to be a juggling act. They're going to have to figure out what is that price point that Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, as well as the rest of the Democratic Party, will support, but yet at the same time, they're getting as much in it as they possibly can, but not too big where all of a sudden, it's just like the Build Back Better agenda where they went in too big and then all of a sudden they got nothing, right? So that's one thing that they'll have to figure out going forward. Again, we'll have to figure out what is actually going to be in this bill. There's a lot of talk right now about breaking the whole agenda up as far as the Build Back Better agenda. We saw that with the State of the Union address, and we've been seeing this for many, many weeks now, where the president has been calling on Congress to pass through his legislation. Again, they're not calling it the Build Back Better agenda anymore. That name is no longer a thing. It does not sell anymore. Therefore, they got to get rid of it, and that's exactly what they've done for quite a while now. So going forward through the rest of 2022, ideally, sooner the better, but again, timing will also be very important for this package because they want to make sure that they pass this thing in a time frame that people remember it when we go out to the polls, right, in November for the midterm elections. But at the same time, they also got to get it done relatively quickly because it takes time. We all understand legislation takes a lot of time. From the time that they start talking about it, negotiating it, until the time that they actually bring it to the floor and vote on it, it could be a very long, drawn-out process. Several weeks, possibly even a couple months. So again, there's a lot of different factors that come into play right here. Number one is the timing as far as when should we get this package passed. Number two, how big can we get this package and what should we add into it? And number three, when can we actually get this package through? How quickly can we start working on this? And how quickly can we get the provisions into place to get that necessary support from all of the Democratic senators as well as all of the Democratic representatives? The House of Representatives generally isn't a big deal. Usually they get the necessary support there. It's usually not a big deal there, but it's rather the Senate is where they need all of those 50 votes. That is where it is way more important. So that's where it's really going to come down to. But what is this going to entail as far as what's the package going to include? A lot of it is going to be hinged around the global pressures as well as what's going on right here in the United States as far as the inflation situation, how much are Americans struggling, what is going on as far as globally, and how is it translating here in the United States. There's a lot of different factors that they need to look at going forward as far as what may indicate is going to be in this next package. So it's going to be a very interesting situation. Congress has a lot on their plate right now, and realistically, they got to do something. They got to play ball here. Otherwise, if they don't do anything, it's not going to be a good situation going forward. So the ball is certainly in their court right now, and they certainly need to play it, right? They got to play it, and they got to play it right. So they have certainly a very interesting situation on their hands right now, and they've got to play their cards exactly right now. Otherwise, they may blow it, and that's it, right? So they've got some time here, but they can't sit on their hands too long, because if they do, that window of time is going to slip away, and ultimately they'll get nothing done. So they've got a little bit of time here. According to right now, they have some time. But again, we all understand time goes away very fast, and Congress is notoriously very slow at getting essentially anything done. So as I've been calling it here, the Hail Mary stimulus package, and according to what everybody's saying right now, according to what analysts are anticipating, they have the ability to use reconciliation one more time this year, and by all means, they want to use that card, right? They've got the card. It's like a wild card. When you're playing cards, you got a wild card. You certainly want to use that wild card, but at the same time, you also want to use it when it most advantageously benefits you at the same time, right? You want to hold that wild as long as you can, but at the same time, you want to pull that thing out when you have the best chances of using it and best chances of winning. And that's exactly what Congress is doing right now with this reconciliation card. They've got it. They can play it. It's a wild card, and they got to play their cards right now to win this game. They can ultimately do it, but they got to play it right? Anyway, just remember too, and they're also looking at this very closely as well. They know this just as much as we do. Americans are struggling right now. Americans need support right now. We need things going forward. If they actually do something to benefit the American people for right before the midterm elections coming up here, and again, it could be 6 months before, it could be 3 months before, it could be 3 days before. I mean, here's the thing. The timing is very key on this. They also understand if they make the American people happy, if they make the American people whole right now, where American people are struggling so much, if they can do something to help out the Americans, we're probably going to remember some people going forward into the midterm elections, right? But if they do absolutely nothing, well, we're going to remember that as well, right? So anyway, it's a very interesting time right now. But either way, I'll continue watching everything closely. I'll keep you updated with any new details that we get. And of course, I'll continue to keep you posted with these details as they are being released each and every day. So if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe down below, share this video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other 2,200 videos right here on the channel. Enjoy your day, and I hope to catch you again later in the next video. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you